Hey, 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 happy Friday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I have to be the Grand Poobah. So, welcome aboard. Tonight is Friday, November 22nd. This is episode 398 of The Daily Dope. So welcome aboard. If this is your first time tuning into the show, let me point out this is very, very casual. Simply talk about tabletop gaming, mainly for the most part. I'd say 99% of what goes on is tabletop gaming discussion, the latest news of the day as well. So, do want to mention, if you do like the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that little bell, because not only will that notify you when the live stream goes out, it'll also inform you when I upload standalone videos as well. So, got a good amount of news tonight. I had to dig around a bit today to actually get some good news, but got a few items that we're going to tackle. Also, do want to point out, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. So, all right, had something pop up here. It's not something... I hate how Windows will just throw stuff at me, and it's like, you're not supposed to disturb me. For this point in time, you're not supposed to say word. There's always some pop-up popping up. Also, do want to point out, too, because this is a live stream, chat is available through YouTube. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or a comment, by all means, please chime in. I will respond. I'll also say hi to folks when they pop into chat, such as Kabuki Kid and John Vogel are already in the chat room. Good to see you both on a Friday night. Let's tackle the news and get started on the weekend. Let's rock it out. So first off, there's an interesting looking Viking card game that's so close to reaching its Kickstarter funding goal for Marzo Projects, a company I am not familiar with. I believe they're out of, Hungary, actually. Budapest, I believe. Might be wrong, but I think they are a European company. Anyway, I've got the dope on Runes of Mayhem. Runes of Mayhem is a fast, competitive, historical, tactical card game for two, with a complete set of artistically designed, colorful cards and game elements that turn players into Viking raiders and Anglo-Saxon defenders. Rule the battlefield with powerful formations and lead your forces with mighty heroes. Overcome your opponents, destroy the enemy fortress, and reap the spoils of war. How will you earn victory? Runes of Mayhem is highly enjoyable from the very first play, with a level of tactical depth that makes it feel like a war game. Intense, yet lightweight, game can be played with offensive or defensive strategies, and allows building momentum and speed, as well as pausing for a while and trading. Many paths lead to victory, but only if you pay close attention and grasp the pace of the game. In Runes of Mayhem, you decide what road to take. So there is a about a minute-long video from Marzo Projects for the Kickstarter. Let's jump on in and take a peek.
Runes of Mayhem is a fast-paced, tactical card game for two, based on the many wars fought between the Vikings and the Anglo-Saxons. The aim of the game is to destroy the fortress of the other player. To do so, you must fight the opponent with your units. The right placement of cards on the battlefield is essential to win the game. Ruins of Mayhem features custom dice, creating a fun combination of look and tactics. Now, we have the upper hand. Attack, men! May the gods protect us all, and take the fallen to Valhalla! Ruins of Mayhem.
Ooh, yes! Ruins of Mayhem is for 2 players, ages 16 and up. I don't know where they get the 16 from. Maybe where this company's located, they have different legal issues as far as like age for games with small components or something. I don't know. This game does play in 20 to 40 minutes. This project for Ruins of Mayhem is 95% funded with 5 days to go. You can reserve a copy of the game for $20 plus shipping. Excuse me, wow. I just had dinner, so sorry about that. We made some steak tonight. But anyway, I was going to say, you can reserve a copy of the game for $20 plus shipping. Do want to point out, this would be shipping from Europe. Looks like it's a pretty small box, though. Expected delivery is April of next year. So looks pretty interesting. I'm glad they don't have anybody with their Viking helmets with horns sticking out on them. Though I did notice they're rolling dice in the video, and I didn't think dice were runes. I don't know. It's just me. But maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? So, Viper Dave is in chat, and the original Grognard is in chat as well. So, I think I will actually refer to TOG as Tog. Kneel before the power of Tog! Just kidding. So, this looks like this could be pretty cool, and I would say that this is probably right up the alley of many wargamers out there as well. So, there's another Kickstarter I wanted to talk about tonight. Once again, another one that is ending very, very soon. This one's wrapping up pretty soon from Blacklist Games, another company I'm not familiar with. And it is Hour of Need. And here's the dope on this comic book board game. The pages of modern-day saga comics are filled with heroes and villains doing battle across both reality and the shared interdimensional space of the Astralacy. While nefarious villains seek power and material wealth, valiant heroes fight to defend those that are caught in the middle of these epic conflicts. It is these everyday people that make reality worth fighting for, and now is their Hour of Need. Hour of Need is a cooperative game of comic book action for 1 to 4 players, up to 6 players with available expansions. Designed by Adam and Brady Sandler, Hour of Need is the latest installment in their line of modular deck system games, MDS. Set in an original world inspired by modern comic books, Hour of Need puts players in the roles of diverse heroes attempting to thwart dangerous villains from carrying out nefarious deeds. In each game of Hour of Need, players will need to use their chosen hero decks tactically to solve problems and thwart their chosen villains' schemes, as presented by the chosen issue deck and board. Utilizing simultaneous turns that provides the framework for collaborative strategy, players have to work together to reveal the villain and prepare for the final showdown. Featuring fast gameplay, highly detailed miniatures, and a variety of modular fixed decks, heroes, villains, and issues, Hour of Need lets players create their own comic book stories in the MDS Comics world. There is a quick video for this Kickstarter. We'll give this one a peek as well. Hour of Need is, as mentioned previously, for 1 to up to 6 players, depending on what pledge level you decide to back. It's for ages 14 and up, plays in about 30 to 120 minutes, so about a half hour to 2 hours. This project has recently cracked the 100% funding goal. I think it's at about 105%. You can reserve a copy of the basic 2-player game for a $35 pledge. You can go as high as, I think it's 109 for up to 6 players. There's even another expansion I don't believe they were showing in that video where you can play villains, taking on the heroes instead. So you can back this project through November 26th. Expected delivery is November of next year. So this looks kind of interesting, especially it's got a pretty small buy-in, $35, so that's not so bad. So one thing I have to admit, the artwork is just, in my opinion, just my opinion, the artwork is just off a little bit from what I have seen. It's kind of almost got, like a DC Marvel kind of flavor to it, but it just looks like it comes from, those like 3rd or 4th string comic book companies out there. Oh, so close. Then again, I wouldn't concern myself too much with the artwork. It's the gameplay that's the important thing. And Flaming Heron is arrived in chat, and Pinky has decided to come downstairs. I thought she'd be staying upstairs tonight. Guess not. Oh, now she stopped. She stopped. She was carrying on. She'll go back to carrying on. She's looking at me. She's kind of coming closer up towards me, but she will never actually come over here. She'll stay within about 4 feet of the setup here in the Duct Tape Studios. Anywho, next news piece. Flaming Heron says, I swear it wasn't me that made her come down. That is funny because she popped in just as Flaming Heron popped into chat. She must have known you were showing up. That must have been it. So, Modiphius Entertainment has updated their Achtung Cthulhu lineup for Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. We have the Investigator's Guide to the Secret War arriving in January in hardcover. Here's the dope. The Secret War had begun. Achtung Cthulhu is the Emmy Award-winning role-playing game. Cthulhu as you've never experienced it before, in a terrifying World War II setting, now fully updated for Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. This is the Investigator's Guide with everything players need to create and run characters in the late 30s and 40s. Doesn't sound right saying late 30s and 40s. It should be late 1930s into the 40s. It's just me. Just how I see it. That's what threw me off a little bit as I read that. Discover the secret history of World War II. Stories of amazing heroism in which stalwart men and women struggle to overthrow a nightmare alliance of steel and the occult, of frightening, inhuman conspiracies from the depths of time, the unbelievable war machines which are the product of Nazi engineering genius, and how close we all are to a slithering end. The Secret War has begun. Inside, you'll find a whole kit bag stuffed with new occupations, skills, equipment, and backgrounds from across Europe, the British Commonwealth, and the United States. You can learn how you can keep the home fires burning, becoming part of the Allied war effort, or risk everything by joining the partisans to bring down the Reich from within. Find out what life was like serving with the various military forces and on the home front. There's also an array of historical and fictional material to help you create exciting player characters and NPCs, a background generator designed to help you find out what dark secrets your past contains. The Investigator's Guide to the Secret War is the definitive guide to the late 1930s and 40s for use by players and keepers alike. The 132-page hardcover will arrive in January. It's going to carry an MSRP of $32.99. The PDFs are available right now for both the Keeper's Guide as well as the Investigator's Guide. Those are available through Drive-Thru RPG. The Investigator's Guide to the Secret War is $14.99. So, good to see them finally port this over to 7th edition Call of Cthulhu. It's been a while. I would have thought I would have seen it a long time ago for 7th edition, because 7th edition has been out now 3 years? 3 years that the latest one has been out? Because I remember, if I remember correctly, and I probably don't, I believe it came out, I think it came out around the holidays about 3 years ago. So, I don't know. I could be wrong. Seaboard Gamers is in chat, and I'm going to say Robert S., because I do not want to mess up the last name. So, we got Robert S. in chat. I believe this is Robert's first time popping in and saying hi to us during the stream. So, welcome aboard. So, Fleming Heron says, yeah, that's what I thought. I know of it, but I assumed it worked with 7th edition. It honestly, it could. There aren't that huge differences with 7th edition. And, like, the major changes, gotta be honest, I wasn't all that keen on, so I just threw those out. So, I still think it's fantastic. It's just, I kit bash role-playing games. It's what I do when I run stuff. So, so here's an interesting story that I am going to share. What I can share about this, right? So, I have met Chris Birch from Modiphius Entertainment quite a few times at the different conventions. I interviewed him once. He's always super cool, really nice. In fact, I would love to maybe do some Skype interviews, because I really want to do some interviews when I'm not at conventions, right? Because we get the convention season, and then for the other 9 months of the year, I don't really converse, publicly with interviews. So anyway, I really like Chris Birch. He's very, very cool. So here's a funny story. So, Achtung Cthulhu was not designed for Modiphius Entertainment. It was not created. I'm not going to say what company it was made for, but it was made for another company, another role-playing game company out there. And when it was finished, the company didn't like it, because they did not want the horrors of fascism and the Nazi atrocities to be attributed in any way whatsoever with the mythos. It was great. They wanted the mythos in it, but the Nazis were evil scum on their own. It was not the mythos. It was not Cthulhu and the other great old ones who made the Nazis do what they did, right? Well, that is sort of a little bit how Achtung Cthulhu is. There is a bit of the, the Nazis are still bad guys, but some of it is that, they're all into the occult and all this other stuff. So Modiphius Entertainment picked this up. In fact, as far as I know, Achtung Cthulhu was the first product that Modiphius Entertainment came out with. So just think, if that other company had said, yeah, that's fine, we'll take this project we had you work on, we'll publish it, maybe Modiphius Entertainment would not be the big gaming company they are now. Kind of interesting how those things work, eh? All right, so moving right along, we're into some role-playing game news. There goes Pinky. Yes, Pinky. She's a good kid. She's just funny. She just thinks I'm talking to her, so she's I'm talking back. Then sometimes she's down here and just sacks out and goes to sleep. Don't hear a peep. Anyway, next news piece. Cubicle 7 let me get a sip here. Jeez. I got a new holiday mug because I am not left-handed. And in order to show off my little snowman face, I have to drink this left-handed, which I do not like. I just didn't have a chance to wash this yet. So, hey, you may have also noticed, got a little garland up behind me, got a little stocking hanging. I try to do little things. I got my two little holiday characters, like, right behind me here. Yes, I know, I'm a goofball. Anywho, Let's jump into the other news piece. Cubicle 7 Entertainment, yes, I can speak, have re-released another Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay First Edition Adventure Tome in PDF. I've got the dope on Doomstone's Fire in the Mountains. Fire in the Mountains is the first part of the Doomstones campaign. In this Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay adventure, a chance discovery puts the adventurers on the trail of a fabled magical artifact in the wild, lawless lands of the Border Princes. The trail leads through ancient caverns, across monster-infested wastes, and over sites of ancient power, following the course of a long-past orc invasion. Finding the object of their quest is one thing, but will the adventurers be able to take it? Designed for adventurers in their second or third careers, this adventure opens up a challenging new area of the Warhammer world, where only the strong and the cunning survive for long. Fire in the Mountains includes the following. There's full background information on the events which have led up to the start of this adventure. I would hope so. There's the adventure itself, with all necessary maps, player handouts, and GM aids. There's a selection of pre-generated player characters with complete backgrounds. An appendix giving full details of the Crystal of Fire, the magical artifact which forms the basis of this adventure. Fire in the Mountains breaks down to 5 distinct phases or chapters. There's Help Never Came, the Reaver's Trail, the Lone Tower, the Twisted Lands, and the Watchers on the Hill. Isn't that a Beatles song? I want to point out this product is a scan of Doomstone's Part 1, Fire in the Mountains, from First Edition Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. You can score the 102-page PDF at DriveThruRPG for $9.99. Now, the images I am showing you are from this scan, so it looks pretty sharp, looks pretty good. Of course, it's just with these scans, you don't have, bookmarks and you can't search the text and stuff like that. But still, you get the first part of this classic campaign for $10 in PDF that's been out of print for a long, long time. Not a bad deal. I'm glad to see Cubicle 7 doing this with a lot of the stuff. And it doesn't necessarily have to be only items that were from Games Workshop. They are, I'm trying to remember, I forget the other company that did, I think it was 2nd edition Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. But, and of course, 3rd edition was Fantasy Flight. But I think that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. Now, Cubicle 7 Entertainment now has the rights to all of the Warhammer 40k role-playing game stuff. So, I don't know if, I think it's over, but there was a humble bundle that had a bunch of the Warhammer 40k role-playing stuff from Fantasy Flight Games, and it all had Cubicle 7 tradecraft on it. So I was like, huh. Interesting. So I have to be honest, I am not familiar with the Doomstones campaign. I have heard of it, I'm just not familiar with it. It's not, like The Enemy Within, like people talk about that all the time. I'm waiting for the second part of The Enemy Within to come out, because that's got like some really freaky stuff in it. So I'd like to see how they've tweaked it, because it is a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people realize this until they actually check out Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. The whole premise originally was to kind of take a fantasy setting, a gritty fantasy setting, and mash it up with like the Cthulhu mythos. So it is a fantasy horror game, really. And amazingly enough, there is quite a bit of humor to it, too. So, Malwina Cyrno Ulfrim from York has popped in. Talking about Humble Bundle now has a Pathfinder First Edition bundle with comic books. Yes, that was last night's news. In fact, that news is on the website today, too. There is a post up with all the links that you need. And we actually mentioned that we were talking a little bit about what a great deal it is, because for $1, you can basically get all the core books that you need to get started with Pathfinder First Edition. And there is still a lot of support for First Edition out there. So yeah, for $1, you get the core book, you get the bestiary, you get the beginner box, and there's also one of the campaigns, one of the standalone adventures, and of course some Dynamite Entertainment comics too. So yes, thank you for reminding us of that offer. But yeah, we did cover that base yesterday. So I was gonna say, Flaming Huron. I wonder how, because I know you are very familiar with a lot of RPGs and that. Are you familiar with the Doomstones campaign for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay? Wondering if you what you thought of it. So just kind of curious. Okay, let's get into our final news piece, because there's an interesting solo horror western role-playing game PDF. It caught my eye. It's over on Drive-Thru RPG. And I've got the dope on This Unthankful Land from Noah Patterson and Micro RPG. You are a Western settler in the mid to late 1800s. You moved yourself and your family out to this unknown place with the promise of a free parcel of land from the government. You had high dreams of working the dirt with your own two hands, planting seed, and watching as the crops shot up like giants toward the sky. You envisioned a landscape of cattle, animals well fed and fat for the market. You relished the thought of taking your animals, your crops, and selling them for a pretty penny at the end of the season. You imagined sitting around the table with your family, your wife, and 6 children, celebrating the bounties of your harvest over a large Thanksgiving feast. All right, so let me jump in here real quick. This cannot take place in the mid-1800s because there was no Thanksgiving in the 1800s. Thanksgiving was a holiday that was created by Abraham Lincoln. I think, what is it, 1863? 1864? Something like that. Anyway, it seems like this settler's got some pipe dreams anyway, because unfortunately, none of that has happened. A vicious late summer storm destroyed your crops with hail. A plague of bugs swooped in afterward to eat that what little might have been salvageable. The cattle all contracted some sort of illness, withering their bodies away to nothingness before your very eyes. Worst of all is the turkey, the huge bird you'd been fattening up for the Thanksgiving holiday. That turkey went berserk, overcome with some sort of illness of the mind. It attacked the weakened cattle, eating the flesh off their bodies. It even attacked your youngest son before rushing off into the wild. Now, with winter coming, not only do you face complete isolation and starvation, but you also fear what lurks in the woods and mountains surrounding your farm. Could it be that the turkey is still waiting out there, watching your every turn? Perhaps he wants to feast on you this Thanksgiving. In any case, there seems to be a curse over this unthankful land. This unthankful land is a solo print and play RPG board game of horror survival in the American West. You can get the 26-page PDF, which appeared today at Drive-Thru RPG for, wait for it, 99 cents. So, come on, it's $1, right? How can you go wrong for $1? And that does seem a little silly, but it could be kind of interesting. And come on, when you say I'd buy that for $1, I gotta say, I would buy that for $1. Sweet, cool deal. So I do want to thank Mel Winius for popping in. This is the first time visit on the channel, so good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. So yes, I guess the movie for that mood would be Ravenous. Yeah, maybe. So, that's when they don't catch that turkey. It's like, well, now what do we do? That is interesting how cannibalism has been around a lot more than people actually want to ever discuss. especially sailors. Sailors, especially shipwrecked sailors or sailors who got stuck having to abandon ship and they were, there's like 10 of them in a boat. It's a lot of times it'll be like, hey, you drew the short straw. Your dinner for everybody, or your provender, I should say. So, first time visit, long time viewers, says MCO from York. So, GMT +1 here. Cool deal. So let's see what's going on with chat here. So Flaming Heron says the Doomstone series are some of my favorite adventures. But then again, Flaming Heron consumed everything for first edition back in the day. And then Kabuki Kid says, yeah, Wikipedia says that Thanksgiving had intermittent celebration until Lincoln declared it a national holiday. Yes. Yes, there were you would have days of Thanksgiving, but not like a Thanksgiving Day holiday. So, Kabuki Kid, what year was it? So, yeah, GMT has a different meaning around here, says Kabuki Kid. Yes, GMT Games is what we automatically assume, right? Oh, GMT +1. Oh, okay, so we're a fan of GMT Games. So one of our GMT videos popped in. So anyway, so that is it for the news. There were a couple of things that I did want to mention. So one thing, I am going to pop up a poll probably later on tonight because I'm curious for those out there who play or run role-playing games, how many people out there actually incorporate holidays, real-world holidays, into their role-playing games? I wonder how many. I wonder if there are people out there who are like, no, I'm not messing with my campaign, and others who are like, yeah, I like to sneak it in, because I am considering running something for Christmas time for my nephew and his friends, and that'll have a bit of a post-apocalyptic Christmas vibe. So there you have it. So Kabuki Kid says Thanksgiving has been celebrated nationally on and off since 1789 by proclamation by George Washington after a request by Congress. I'm still sticking to it wasn't a real holiday until Lincoln made it a national holiday. So Kabuki Kid says, never played with real holidays in any games I've played in or ran. Yeah, I would think it's probably not as many as I imagined at first, because I don't think there's probably all that many really good published adventures that have a holiday theme. Maybe Halloween. I think, yeah, that should be probably something decent out there. But Thanksgiving and Christmas, stuff like that, I don't know. I have no idea. So Melwinius says, I bought Darkest Night 2nd edition for the winter, not an RPG. I thought it was fitting for the cold season. Oh yeah, good old Victory Point Games. Our pals. One of the few games that Tabletop Tycoon will continue publishing from VPG. So, anyways, Kabuki Kid is like cutting and pasted all the Wikipedia stuff. So the other thing I was going to mention is I have been bouncing around maybe making a video talking about 5 role-playing games that I think deserve to see new editions. So basically 5 role-playing games that are out of print that I would like to see somebody pick up and try to run with. I was bouncing around maybe trying to shoot that this weekend. But I don't know. I can't tell you if people will be interested in checking that out or not. So I don't want to go through the work of putting it all together and uploading it and then like 50 people watch it. 50 people already watch this show on a regular basis. I don't want my standalone videos to be getting 50 views too. So Kabuki Kid says would be sort of cool to see Toon again. That is not one of the 5. I gotta be honest. Not one of the 5 on my list. So, and I thought you can still get it from Steve Jackson Games. It's just you can get it in PDF. I don't know. All right. Oh, yeah. So Flaming Heron says, yeah, and 5 we regret buying. So, yep. So Flaming Heron's like, oh my god, Toon? Someone else knows it? Oh, yeah. We picked up Toon back in the day, me and my friends. In fact, I think we picked it up right after we picked up Killer, which we played in high school. Got in trouble. Almost, not me. Well, I got in trouble, but one of our group almost got expelled. So, yeah. So, anyway. So, Kabuki Kid says, Toon was cool and one you could play with the kids. Come on, you can play anything with the kids. Even Warhammer 40k, if you want. Just depends on the kids. All right, so that is it for tonight's show. So, if you like the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. Of course, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. And don't forget, ring that little bell, because it'll notify you not only when this stream goes live within about a minute or so, it will also notify you when I upload standalone videos, which I will have a couple up this weekend. I am not going to ruin the surprise of what they're going to be just yet. But also, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now, you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. And of course, those of you who joined me live and took part in chat tonight, thank you very much. You know, Fridays can be a little weird, kind of hit or miss, because of course the weekend's kicking off. So anytime anybody pops in the chat, I really, really do appreciate it. So I'm not just, babbling on into the ether. But if you watch after the fact or on Memorex, I had a soft spot in my heart for you too. I will be back next Monday. It will be a short week. This Monday through Wednesday for shows next week because of Thanksgiving and Black Friday. So I will be back on Monday. Everybody have a great weekend. Have a very safe weekend. Hopefully some of you out there get to enjoy some gaming as well. So until next time, happy trails. Zoobity-bity-bity-boo-boo. Zoobity-bity-bity-boo. Zabba-dabba-dabba-dabba-bum. Zibba. Whoa, hey. I didn't realize that you were still here. Well, if that's the case, then allow me to share the following information with you that I only have 20 seconds to do. So let's all take a deep breath. So if you would like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, please click right here. If you want to check out the latest episode of The Daily Dope, click right here. And if you'd like to check out a randomly selected standalone video, by all means, click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thanks for watching.